안녕하세요. Hi, I'm Hyunwoo from TalkToMeInKorean.com and I'm here with my friend Nichola from
MyKoreanHusband.
And you have a Korean husband.
Yes, that is right.
So
Yes.
we're sitting here to chat a little bit about life in general. No,
Just
kidding.
life.
It would be a 2-hour video or 20-hour video. Since you recently moved up to Seoul, let's compare your life in the countryside.
Yes.
How long was it?
2 years, a bit over 2 years in the Korean countryside. And I mean like really the countryside.
Let's compare that, the pros and cons of living in the countryside and also living in Seoul.
Seoul.
So we're in Seoul. I've lived in Seoul for 19 years now. It's actually longer than the time that I spent in my hometown,
Oh,
which is
really?
a smaller city. So let's talk about some pros and cons. First of all, you were living there with your in-laws, right?
That is right. So we didn't even have our own place. It was very much in like the traditional Korean family like that. Yeah.
I'm sure there were some good things about it too.
Yeah,
everybody's
definitely.
taking care of you. Everybody's
Yes.
like asking after you.
Yes, I was treated like a little baby. And everything was done for me. And my mother-in-law, if she knew that I didn't like a type of food, like she wouldn't cook it for me. And I didn't like bones and chicken, so she would take out all the bones of the chicken and give me like little bite-sized baby. I was completely treated like a baby, like
I
a
would like that.
princess.
In a way, it's good. In a way, it can make you a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed that, and
Yes.
then you are now in Seoul. What is something that you missed?
Definitely the nature. Like we were surrounded by like beautiful mountains
Yeah.
and the river, and so I'd ride my bike. I'd go on these long bike rides, and it was just beautiful and seeing the sun setting. And you just don't get that in Seoul, of course.
Not at
Yeah.
all. Like almost never. You have to travel. You have to
Yeah.
drive somewhere. At least a few kilometers away from your house to actually
Yeah.
enjoy the immersion experience with the nature. So the air is different.
Definitely a lot fresher.
So what are some advantages of living in Seoul? Of course, you can expect some obvious things like the convenience.
Convenience, definitely.
Yeah.
Just being able to see all our friends, because a lot of our friends are in Seoul, so it's a lot easier to see people now. And so there's a lot of convenience of like going out and meeting people and that. So like where we were living in the countryside, it was only last year that the first coffee shop opened, but not even in our village, it was the next village over. So we have to cross the river to go to the next little village,
Yeah.
to go to the first coffee shop in that
Yeah.
area.
In Seoul, of course, you will be recognized by your subscribers from time to time, but basically everybody's a stranger, right?
Yes, that's right. So whereas in the countryside, especially in our village, because it's such a small village,
Yeah.
everybody knows everybody else. And so I remember when we first moved there, and my mother-in-law sort of like gave me this talk of like, you have to insa, like say to everybody. So when I ride my bike around in the countryside, I'm riding my bike and I'm like, 안녕하세요, and a few times I've almost like run into the ditch.
Yeah. Well, that's something that shouldn't happen often, but that's a good thing. But at the same time, you have a little bit of a burden on your shoulders because
I have to always be respectful, which is fine,
Yeah.
but there's also, you have to be very aware of it all the time, that how I act reflects on my husband's family.
True.
And we can never have that loss of face and that type of thing. There's all this Korean culture stuff that you have to be very aware of because it's so community orientated.
That's right. You have to do the right thing all the time.
Yes.
All day long, every day. And it's actually similar to what happens to me when I visit my parents' neighborhood, because it's a big city with 1 million people living in it. But then when I go enter the apartment complex with like 10 buildings, I have to be aware of everybody because everybody might already know me. They might have seen me be born. Older people who were friends with my grandmother or were friends with my parents. I can't throw trash anywhere. I can't be like sitting like this anywhere.
You can't be like, I'm doing whatever I want.
I have to be like ready to bow to every single person that I know.
Yeah, and then in our Seoul neighborhood, it's still like a sort of community feeling, but I guess there's more like furtherness away from people, and there was a bunch of arjumas, like older women, sorting something underneath their apartment block. So it's still quite similar to the countryside where there's a group of women sitting, doing that type of work. I walk past, I was like, 안녕하세요. and they just stared at me like this.
Because no one else does that.
Yeah, nobody does that here.
So when you were living in Sancheong, you and your husband, you came to Seoul quite frequently.
Yes.
And to me, it seemed like you didn't mind traveling all the way to Seoul so frequently. And to me, if somebody had suggested the idea of traveling down to Sancheong more than 10 times a year, I would have just said no.
Yeah,
So
and
I think there's a difference in mindset.
there is, and I think also because for us to do major shopping, we have to go into Jinju, which is like 20 minutes to 30 minutes on a bus just to be able to go to an E-Mart and do any type of sort of, you know, bigger shopping. So I think in the countryside, that is completely normal to sort of go that far and then like to travel to other places. Whereas not that many friends visited us in the countryside.
Yeah,
like
because it feels like more work.
Yeah, they feel like it's so far away. But for us, there was some months where we were going to Seoul almost every weekend, and you just get used to sitting on the bus for that long.
Yeah.
But Seoul people are like, we couldn't go all the way down there.
Yeah, even the distance should be the same.
Yes.
So any new, I guess, habits or anything that you took up since you moved to Seoul?
Like we're trying to be healthy, like more healthy living, which I think some people are surprised at because they think the countryside is all like healthy living, but actually the countryside can be more like sedentary, like just
I can see that.
because people do the work on the farm and then you just sit around for the rest of the day.
Yeah, farming can be really bad for your health.
Yes.
Because you're just sitting, squatting like, for really long hours.
Yeah, especially with the strawberry picking, they're sitting while they're picking like that.
Yeah.
And then when you have to go somewhere, you have to either go in a car or a bus and that, where in Seoul, there's a lot more opportunity to walk around.
Yes, there are so many stairs and like, the subway system in Seoul is amazing, as many of you already know.
But there's stairs everywhere.
Yeah, like, it's not 100% wheelchair friendly or baby stroller friendly, which I found out recently. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When I had my son. But then it's a good opportunity for you to move around a lot more.
Yeah.
So do you feel more healthy?
Yeah, I do. And also because I can do more cooking for myself now. So in the countryside, my mother-in-law pretty much insisted on doing the cooking, which is great. Like her cooking is really great. But I think, you know, like Korean mothers really want to like fatten their children up.
Another interesting difference that I found is people freak out more easily over bugs. Like, because in the apartment buildings, if you see one ant, you're like, oh, there's an ant.
Okay, as an Australian, I was almost horrified to see how many bugs are in the Korean countryside.
Really?
So I've lived in the Australian countryside and everyone's like, oh, Australia, spiders and that. Korea, you've got these like little jumping spiders, like a few days every week, I would have a jumping spider in my bed.
So it was like
centipedes in the bathtub, like moths everywhere.
Nice biology class for you.
Yeah.
For 2 years. But then now, what is it like here? Like you don't see them that often, right?
No. We really in our apartment here. It's like it's nice.
You've been here for how long? Like in Seoul?
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Still very exciting,
I
right?
feel like it's still the honeymoon stage.
Do you feel like you've just moved to Korea for the first time?
It is sort of like moving to another country because like Seoul is so different from where we were living. So I'm still in awe of a lot of things and like, wow, like it's like 3 a.m. and all this stuff is still open.
I think it's a good state of mind because you get to actually observe all the things, all the amenities, all the awesome things that you can use. Whereas I myself, like I've been living here for too long to actually appreciate how convenient everything is. All in all, I'm really excited for you. So what can our audience expect to see on your channel if they decide to subscribe to yours?
Okay, so our main series at the moment is called Seoul Life, and so every week we are answering questions, showing what we've been doing during the week, and sort of talking about our transition to Seoul. And we do a bunch of other videos where we might do food videos or culture videos where we talk about culture and being an intercultural couple.
That's right.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff like that on our channel.
And you also have a webtoon on Naver,
I do, on Naver Line webtoon called Nichola, and there's also MyKoreanHusband comics on our blog as well.
That's right. So I'll put all the links down below. Make sure to subscribe to her channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, please let us know in the comments about the topic that you want us to cover. And please be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And be sure to click on that notification bell or button to get all the notifications from the channel. All right, Nichola, thank you for your time.
No worries.
I'm hungry. Let's go.
Yes,
have
go
to
eat something.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.